I didn't really want to be a minimalist in the beginning, but yet here I am 6 years later. So if you want to know more about my confession, just stay tuned. Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobras nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. Today's minimalism video is going to be a fun one, and that is a minimalism confession. I haven't made these in a really long time, but I figured, you know what, I haven't been making enough minimalism content, just like straight core minimalism stuff for anybody who's getting started on their journey. So without further ado, let's just get into the juiciness. Let's get it, let's go. Woo! The first thing that I wanted to confess is that I didn't want to be a minimalist at first. I didn't become a minimalist because I was scrolling along in my, Pinterest, and I saw like this beautiful aesthetic. When I first came across minimalism, this was like 6 years ago. Minimalism wasn't really that hot yet. Like really the only kind of content you could find on minimalism was still like on people's blogs. A lot of YouTubers that I follow, actually, like A Small Wardrobe, I followed her when she was actually still just a blog. So at the time, minimalism was just more of a notion and more of like principle or lifestyle that you could follow rather than like this aesthetic, like I don't even know, like Matt D'Avella really did popularize, at least for my generation, this idea of minimalism. Before that, I had also read like Do Less by Rachel Jonad. So yeah, a lot of minimalism that I followed was based on literature, but I'm getting ahead of myself. That isn't actually how I became a minimalist. I had actually read Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's how I became a minimalist. I know that's not very a minimalistic book that most people would think like that's how you became a minimalist, but yeah, it actually was. I wanted to have a career, I wanted to have a car, a house, lots of love things. That was my pursuit in life. Like that's what I was doing, and I was definitely really bad with my money because I didn't have the means to sustain that type of lifestyle. So when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I was like, oh, there's other things I could do with my money, and that was to gain financial freedom, and I could do that through a business, through stocks, through like financial education. So I got into frugality. I guess there's a lot of areas that minimalism covers, and frugality happened to be one of them. And I was like, oh, minimalism? I could save money by just like buying less stuff, and I could just slap on the label and call myself a minimalist. And that's kind of how I started becoming a minimalist. It really was just kind of like a blanket or a tool to just kind of conceal my financial journey. I didn't want people knowing about it. I was kind of embarrassed and kind of ashamed to like tell people, because I think now it's extremely popular, but like 6 years ago, more than half a decade ago, it was so uncool. Like it was very, and maybe is still considered quite radical. So I couldn't explain my lifestyle to people. So at the end of the day, I just told people like, yeah, I'm a minimalist. I don't want to buy more crap. But I mean, now I don't really feel like buying crap because there's other things I'd rather do with my money, like buy stocks or put back into my channel. But at the time, like if I had the means, I would buy. But I had other things that I wanted to do. I wanted financial freedom. And when I realized I wanted financial freedom, one of the things that I had to make a decision, a hard decision, was that I was going to have to pay off my debts, my student loans, in order to overcome that and become financially well off. But now let's talk about what became some of the drivers for why I have still stayed a minimalist, even though I've like gotten a lot better with my money. I'm really happy with my financial journey. I've paid off my student loans. Why did I still stay a minimalist? Why didn't I just, abandon ship and go back to consumerism? Minimalism actually turned out to be really good. One, it helped with my stress, and it definitely helped like unburden me. I felt really stressed out and I felt really burdened when I still lived in a rat race type of mentality, when I was like up to here mentally with consumerism. Like all I thought about was like, I want to buy this and I want to buy that. That wasn't a really happy way to live. And once I started implementing just like more practical minimalism habits, like slow life, less consumption, less comparisons, it felt like a breath of fresh air. And I was like, wow, like this is really nice. I'm going to continue living like this even after I have the means to buy other things. I'm going to stay like this because I like it, because it's actually really nice. Like I've experienced a lot of benefits. I know I've made a lot of videos where it's like minimalism in the extreme and but to be honest, the emotional unburdenment that occurred with minimalism was just. And the next point that I wanted to talk about was that I was able to leave the rat race mentally with minimalism. I felt a lot of mental freedom and a lot of financial freedom that came with just like not buying crap. Like I had to become really intentional with the things that I did buy. If I bought something, I had to give it a lot of thought. Like, am I buying this because it's going to add to my life? Like, is this something that I can afford to buy? Is this something that's not going to jeopardize like my financial health and my mental health? Minimalism was kind of like the thing that like honed in my focus into like what really mattered, because like I didn't have the luxury to be buying willy-nilly this and that, and it helped a lot. I mean, like there were a lot of other factors that helped cement and drill into my lifestyle minimalism. Like one, I lived in the dorm, so I had to make all my stuff fit in a luggage. I couldn't just have house decor and 7 different jackets. Like it wasn't gonna fit in a luggage. So I had like constraints in terms of like it had to fit in a luggage. I also had financial constraints. I had to pay off my student loans, so I didn't have spare cash lying around after I paid my tuition and my dorm forms. I had to pay back OSAP. And the other constraint that I had was that there's a cognitive dissonance. I couldn't be talking about minimalism on my YouTube channel while turning around and buying a bunch of crap. I felt like if I was going to talk about minimalism, I had to walk the walk. So I also had a sense of pride. Like, although I didn't really want to be a minimalist, at first it grew on me. The benefits definitely came about, I'd say, like the second or third year of my minimalism journey. In the beginning, I had like the decluttering high. I think a lot of people who enter minimalism might be attracted to the like extreme aesthetic of like nothing, a bare room, you don't have any more responsibilities, you don't have stuff. Yes, that was definitely very attractive, but it was also very dangerous. I entered what I called like the decluttering obsession. I have videos on that on my channel, and that was toxic, and I used to cry about the things that I decluttered. I used to cry about having too much crap. It was just so unhealthy. So I would say once I got over that and I just kind of was like chill and I addressed more the issue of like just buying less, I was a lot happier with my minimalism. It's nice not having to constantly be buying stuff. Like, I can do other stuff with my time. With minimalism, I was able to do other things. In my third year of minimalism that I started my YouTube channel, because I wasn't buying a bunch of crap. So I was like, you know what? Let's do some other stuff. I was able to lose the final 10 pounds. I started my YouTube channel. I got a lot better with money. I was able to pay off my tuition. I traveled a lot. I had ease of travel, disentangled my self-worth from material possessions. I'm no longer lusting after material possessions. A lot of positive things came about. So this is my minimalism confession. I didn't want to be a minimalist at first, but yet here I am, 6 years later. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!